Day 37, Exodus chapter 22, 23, and 24. Our whispers will be all about laws, responsibilities, and agreements between God and His people. Welcome. From this verse, we will agree that context really matters. At night, fear and uncertainty are high. You cannot see clearly. You do not know the intentions of the intruder. But in daylight, there is opportunity to assess, restrain, and show restraint. When we feel threatened by criticism, betrayal, or fear, we often respond impulsively. God's wisdom reminds us, not every moment requires the same response. Sometimes protection is necessary, but other times, clarity calls for mercy. Before reacting, ask, am I responding out of fear or out of wisdom? Next, God is teaching that people matter more than profit. Almost everything has a price. Friendships become transactions. Support becomes conditional. But God's heart is different. When someone is truly struggling, financially, emotionally, or spiritually, our role is not to exploit their weakness, but to extend mercy. This doesn't just apply to money. It applies to how we treat people who are vulnerable. When someone needs help, offer support without hidden motives, give without expecting control in return, or serve without calculating your benefit. Because generosity reflects the character of God. Do not blaspheme God or curse the ruler of your people. These days, it is common to criticize leaders loudly and harshly. And yes, leaders can make mistakes. But God was teaching His people to maintain a spirit of respect. Why? Because dishonor spreads like poison. It weakens communities. It destroys unity. This does not mean blind agreement. It means speaking truth with dignity, not contempt. You can disagree without becoming disrespectful. You can challenge injustice without losing your character. God cares not only about what we say, but how we say it. This verse was not just about offerings. It was about attitude. God was teaching His people that worship should never be casual or careless. Today, many people approach God only when they need something, but God desires relationship, not just requests. Showing up, not empty-handed, can mean coming with gratitude, coming with humility, coming with obedience, or coming with a willing heart. Even when you have little, bring your sincerity. Because God values a heart that is present, more than a performance that is perfect. Then God tells the people, if you listen carefully, I will be an enemy to your enemies and will oppose those who oppose you. This promise is connected to listening and obedience. Many people want God's protection, but resist God's direction. Obedience is not about control. It is about alignment. When we follow God's wisdom in relationships, integrity, forgiveness, and truth, we place ourselves under His covering. And sometimes, God fights battles we never even see. Here, God could have given instant victory, but He chose progressive growth. Why? Because sudden success without preparation can lead to destruction. Today's culture celebrates quick wins and overnight success, but God understands capacity. Sometimes you pray for immediate change, a new opportunity, healing, breakthrough, or promotion, and God responds slowly, not because He is withholding, but because He is preparing you. Growth that lasts often comes step by step. So if your journey feels gradual, it may actually be evidence of God's wisdom. By this warning, God knew that constant exposure to harmful practices would slowly change His people's hearts. Idols may not look like ancient statues. They can be toxic relationships, unhealthy habits, voices that normalize compromise, environments that slowly pull you away from your values. You don't have to hate people, but you must guard your heart, because influence shapes identity more than we realize. God did not raise His hand against the leaders. They saw God, and they ate and drank. This is a beautiful picture. They were in God's presence, not in fear, but in fellowship. God desires relationship, not just rituals, not just rules. He wants moments where you sit with Him, reflect, pray, listen, and rest in His presence. Faith is not only about avoiding wrong, it is about enjoying closeness with God. He is not only a judge, He is also a host who invites you to the table. From today's whispers, we learn to respond with discernment, not fear, value people over profit, speak with honor, approach God with sincerity, walk in obedience, trust gradual growth, guard our influences, and pursue real relationship with the Lord. He is not distant from those who genuinely search for Him. God walks patiently, teaches gently, and invites you into a life shaped by His wisdom. So wherever you are in your journey, confused, hopeful, struggling, or growing, keep walking with Him.